We just got done with a podcast here in DC. It was beautiful, right here, right in front of the Department of Justice. The FBI building is right there, and it was beautiful. I had Mary Jo, I had Johnny, I had the whole family, I had my brother, and it was a beautiful 2-hour podcast. Tomorrow I have a trial for my trespassing. My First Amendment has been violated by Sheriff Glen Hill. Tomorrow at 9 o'clock in the morning, I have trial with Sheriff Glen Hill. Tomorrow is my motion to dismiss. And the disturbing part in this case is the county filed a motion to tell this judge not to have the jury hear that this case is about a First Amendment violation, that we should just talk about the trespassing. The foundation of this case is my First Amendment has been violated. Now I have a video that I was on public property, standing there, not being disorderly. I have a video, and I got arrested in the middle of a constitutional protected activity. I was talking about my brother and how they falsified my brother police reports and how they unalived and murdered inmate in our county jail. Sheriff Glen Hill comes out and puts me in handcuffs. Now, the deposition of Sheriff Glen Hill, by the way, it's audio recorded. I have the audio recording from the deposition where the sheriff says, I am on public property. I was not disorderly. I was not disruptive. I'm on public property, exercising a First Amendment. That's literally the deposition of Sheriff Glen Hill. So why am I trespassed? Why am I trespassed from the property? If I'm on public property, according to the sheriff, I'm on public property and I'm not being disruptive. Why am I trespassed? Why did I get arrested? So my lawyer put in an opposition, a motion, and he's telling the judge, the jury absolutely should hear that this is a First Amendment case. So tomorrow we're gonna find out if the judge is in their pocket or is not in their pocket. I mean, it's ridiculous to have a jury trial where the jury is not gonna hear this case is about a First Amendment violation. So we're gonna find out. In any case, we're ready to take this all the way to a higher court. If Sheriff Glen Hill thinks that this is gonna stop here, Sheriff, you're senile. As a matter of fact, before I got arrested, a lot of people in the community don't know that there is a things that happen behind closed doors before I got arrested. Sheriff Glen Hill asked me to come to his office and sit down with him while we were protesting before I got arrested. And he asked me to remove my protest, come out and publicly apologize to the correctional officer through my social media platform. And in return, he was gonna let my brother use the phone. At the time, my brother they wouldn't let him, the jail wouldn't let him use the phone for going on for 5 months. And he was gonna give him the phone and transfer him out of solitary confinement to a unit that doesn't have solitary confinement. Now, when I told the sheriff, I'm gonna continue to protest for my brother, next thing you know, I get arrested. Now, the sheriff doesn't realize that our meeting was video recorded. I have a video recording of the incident. And I'll promise you, Sheriff, by the time I'm done with you, you're not going to have a badge or a uniform. And I'm going to hold you accountable by law. Tomorrow, we're going to find out if the judge is in the county's pocket. Is the judge going to let and say, the jury is not going to hear about your First Amendment? Then why are we in court? I'm taking the sheriff to court to fight for my First Amendment. I should be able to come out and talk about what the county have done to my brother. You falsify my brother police reports. You put him in solitary confinement for 2 years. You beat him. You sexually assault him. You denied him medical. I should be able to come out and talk about what you've done to my brother. I should be able to come out and talk about the unalived and murdered inmate in our county jail. The inmates that are being abused in our county jail. Commonwealth Amy Ashworth, once I held a sign on public property, she waves at me out the window. 5 minutes later, I got arrested by Sheriff Glen Hill. Got the whole thing on video. Sheriff Glen Hill is protecting the Commonwealth Attorney, who, by the way, the Commonwealth Attorney It's not just our Commonwealth. It's not just a Commonwealth attorney. She holds a position as a jail board member. She has a job where her job is to protect the inmates in our county jail. So when I held a sign that says, I had literally held a sign in front of her office. I said, our Commonwealth attorney, Amy Ashworth, on her watch, she allows a jail to murder inmates. 5 minutes later, the sheriff comes out and puts me in handcuffs. These people are going to be held accountable. We're going to take them to courts, and we're going to hold them accountable by law. And tomorrow, we're going to find out if the judge is in the county's pocket. Keep us in your prayers. We're going to continue to fight, and I promise Sheriff Glenn Hill and those individuals, by the time I'm done with them, they're all going to end up in jail.